Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, SunshinehazeCo. I am Aja A, and this is not the typical moon video. This is actually a part of the retrograde series. We are in retrograde season. I wanted to get these videos up like months ago, but life comes at you fast, so I didn't. But we still got a couple of months left in this particular retrograde, so I wanted to get this video up while we are still dealing with the energy. This video is for the Saturn retrograde. Y'all know, y'all hear me talk about, well, Saturn is in Capricorn all the time. Well, Saturn is now in retrograde in Capricorn. The retrograde started on April 29th, and it's going to be ending on September 18th, so it's covering the time span of 5 months. And Saturn is in Capricorn until 2020, so we are about halfway through this particular cosmic event of Saturn being in this sign. So we're now at the point where we're starting to see the new foundations come in. And what else? There's something else I was going to tell y'all to watch too on that. I don't remember, but whatever it is, it's going to be linked down below. So check out all the videos that I have linked down below, okay? Okay. It started on the 30th of April, or the 29th of April, and it started in 20 degrees, which is interesting because the Pluto retrograde is ending in 20 degrees, and Pluto's in retrograde in Capricorn, and then you've got the Saturn retrograde in Capricorn ending, starting in 20 degrees. So a lot of change and transformation in our foundations coming in for us over this year. And it's ending on Wednesday, September 18th, and it's going to be ending in 13 degrees. So Saturn is considered one of the outer planets, one of the social planets, so it doesn't move as fast as or affect us in the physical as much as the personal planets like Mercury or Venus or Mars, but it does really touch our energy on a grander level, okay? Capricorn, shout out to my Caps. Capricorn energy is associated with stability, with foundation. Capricorns are very business-minded. Capricorn is also associated with determination and authority and vices, and like I said, authority, power. Saturn is the planet that is associated with karmic energy. It is considered the father of the solar system, and Capricorn is considered the father of the zodiac. So we're dealing with a lot of daddy, paternal energy here, okay? Saturn also governs our foundations and our judgment and our morality. So this retrograde period is going to be a very reflective time. If you watch my videos, you know I consider the retrogrades a time to reflect and correct. So with this retrograde being in Saturn, we're really going to be looking at our foundations, our relationships with our fathers, also looking at, you know, karmic instances and karmic energy that needs to be worked through or needs to be dealt with, okay? So starting with that, Saturn governing our karma for the most part, we're going to be looking at what karmic cycles need to be worked through. So this retrograde period is actually one that you may experience in the physical a little bit more than you would like Neptune or like Pluto or planets like that. Certain either relationships or situations or certain habits or certain very prominent things are going to be coming back around for you or popping back up or very prominent in your thoughts. And that is because it has to do something with your foundation, something to do with the way that you build and the way that you grow. And you need to look at these things and see, okay, what needs to be worked through, what needs to be broken down and cleared out, what needs to happen here in order for me to have stable and solid foundations growing towards these goals that I have set in place for myself, all right? I'll talk about that next. Actually, no, I'll talk about that now. So with Saturn being the planet governing our foundations and this being in Capricorn during this time, and Saturn is at home in Capricorn, by the way, guys. So this is a very, like Pluto, this is, I'm sorry, not Pluto, like Jupiter being at home in Sagittarius during retrograde time. Saturn being at home in Capricorn during retrograde times means this is a very, very strong energy, major change and major shift and major progression coming in for us. But the retrograde period is for us to see what is holding us back from that progression. We're going to be seeing where we haven't fulfilled our dreams or our goals, where we haven't fallen into alignment with what we consider to be the best version of ourselves, or what we consider, we haven't been living what we consider to be our best lives. And so with Saturn being this karmic planet and having this paternal energy, it's really also going to be shedding light on our limitations. So this retrograde period is going to be definitely a time for us to be sitting here thinking and seeing, okay, this is the life I want to be living. This is how I want my finances to look. This is how I want my foundations to look. And this is what I've been doing, or this is what hasn't been happening, or this is what's been holding me back. During the retrograde period, you may not necessarily break free of the limitations, but you will definitely start to see ways in how you can start to do so. When Saturn goes direct is when you're really going to be tapping into that energy and really starting to break free of those chains, break free of those karmic cycles, really clear out whatever energy and whatever space is needed in order for you to come on in and really build upon these foundations that you have your sights set on, okay? Going back into Saturn being the father of the solar system and Capricorn being the father of the zodiac, we're dealing with a lot of paternal energy during this, during these, 4 months? 5 months, during this 5 months. So for a lot of you, your relationships with your father are going to be coming up. Either you're going to be getting closer with your dad, or you're going to be learning a lot more about your dad, or you might be having a little bit of conflict with your dad in regards to, you know, your personal growth or his personal growth. If your father was absent, you may be coming into this space of where you're starting to understand things, where you're starting to finally release that sadness or that anger that you had associated with that particular instance, or with, you know, not having your father around. You may be coming into this space of where you're seeing the problems in your relationships with your dads, or seeing the way, if you're a dad, seeing problems or issues in the way that you parent your children, and really getting to a point to where you can start to, with Saturn being in Capricorn, starting to, this is the slogan, this is what I say for it, crumbling foundations to make space for new pillars. So you're starting to see the foundations that need to crumble in order for you all to start building better relationships, or for you to get closer with your dads, or for you to understand your dads more, or for you to be a better dad. So that is an energy that'll be popping up for us over these 5 months. It's so funny, I've been recording these retrograde videos all day, and currently we're in Leo season. My dad's a Leo. We just came off of the Capricorn lunar eclipse, so I was talking about paternal energy coming in there, and kind of the same thing with that I was just speaking about. And my dad called me like 3 times and interrupted my videos 3 times, and I'm just laughing because I'm like, I said you were finna be lit, and here you are. And that also lends to this Saturn and Capricorn energy. My dad, I joke about it, but I need to do a little bit better. He hits me up a lot, and he'll text me and he'll say, hey daughter, I haven't heard from you, or hey Aja, how are you doing, or hey, give me a call, I wanted to what are you doing today, wanted to hang out, but you've been at work, blah 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 blah. My dad also has his Mercury in Leo like myself, so it's he just be shooting off at the mouth, but so do I. And I get it from both of my parents. Both of my parents have their Mercury in Leo, but I digress. Anyways, getting back to what I was saying, this is definitely a time where your relationships with your fathers are going to be at the forefront. So whatever is coming up that needs to be released, definitely work on that. Whatever is coming up that needs to be solidified, definitely work on that as well, okay? Saturn is also considered the guardian of the threshold. So with that being said, it kind of joins what's going on in the physical with what's going on in the etheric, what's going on in the spiritual. So this is definitely a time to where we're going to be, again, reflecting and correcting on where are we, where do we see ourselves, where are we on our journeys, what does our spiritual growth look like, and how can we incorporate that into the physical. And again, this is the retrograde period, so you won't necessarily see it start to take place in the physical over this time span, but once Saturn is direct and we're out of that shadow period, you're going to start to feel things come together, and then you're going to start to see them come together in the physical, dealing with that Capricorn energy. Okay, I do like to talk a little bit about how the retrograde energy affects us as a collective, kind of on a wider scale. With Saturn being in Capricorn, in regards to the collective, we're looking at foundations that don't need to be in place. And so during this retrograde period, we're going to really start to recognize, okay, that's not cool. This in society is not cool. The government is trash in this aspect, or whatever it may have you. And we're going to start to see certain shifts, certain people, certain groups come forward to really start to try and break down these foundations. Again, this is the retrograde period, so we may not see the foundations crumble during this time, but we're definitely going to see the beginning of it and working towards it. And then again, when Saturn goes direct, shit's finna pop off. Y'all's president, the orange one. You're seeing a lot of like all these trials and all of these, you know, things happening with ICE raids and all of the Twitter stuff. And this is coming up to show us, okay, this is not right. This is not okay. These are things that need to be broken down. And once Saturn goes direct, and especially once we're out of the shadow period, I think we're really going to see some shifts happening, and maybe not happening within the government, but I think we're really going to start to see all of this stuff take a left. And when I say left, I mean, pun intended, take a left. I crack myself up. Anyways, so on a wider scale, foundations that don't need to be in place in society starting to crumble, starting to fall down in order to make space for what we need to be as a collective building upon and building towards. All right, let's talk a little bit about the numerology. This retrograde started in 20 degrees. 2 is the number associated with harmony, with balance, with peace, with cohesiveness, and that's amplified by the number 0. So again, talking about our foundations and talking about how we want our lives to look and how we want our lives to feel, this retrograde is really showing us what needs to happen, what needs to be cleared out in order for us to feel that harmonious energy, in order for us to feel at peace, in order for us to be content with our lives, okay? And then this retrograde started on 9 day. 9 is a highly spiritual number. It carries a very high vibration, and it deals with ascension, it deals with endings, it deals with cycles and with karma. And again, with this being a karmic planet, certain things that are just not serving us anymore, we really are looking at what we need to start to move away from, or what we need to cut out completely, and how we, once we do that, how we can start to move forward, how we can begin to progress, okay? The retrograde is ending in 13 degrees. 1 is the number of manifestation, new cycles. It's also associated with karma and independence. And 3 is the number of community, creativity, and communication, and really bringing things together. And we are in a 3 year. So again, all this energy is coming together to really put us in on the paths of changing our lives for the better. 13 breaks down into 4, which is considered the number of stability, of foundation, of building upon the things that we have set into place. It's also a number of manifestation. So we're really going to be looking at how we can move into these new spaces once we figure out all of these foundations that we need to crumble, right? That we need to break down. And the retrograde's ending on a 3 day, which brings us back to the energy of this universal year, which is all about bringing things together and all about working with others and all about bringing in our talents and our creativity and our skills, and really using all of those things and putting it together to really create, like I said, the best lives for ourselves, into which we are functioning within alignment with our highest good. Again, live your best life has been, I say that, and that is what the aim is, that's what the goal is. And this Saturn in Capricorn being in retrograde energy is really showing us how we can get to that point, okay? So trust the process and don't be resistant to the change, because that can happen a little bit with Capricorn energy. Capricorn can be very stubborn, so just be very mindful when things come in for you to change. When you feel like things need to shift, understand that that's happening for a reason. In order for shit to be different, you got to do different shit. So you can't go against the flow, you can't go against the grain here. You have to let these things come in. You may be feeling a little restricted. Saturn can be very restrictive. It's a tough energy. So when it comes to these things in regards to our foundations and how we want to shift them, you may have an idea, but you may feel like, well, I don't have the means to do that, or I don't have the discipline to do that, or I don't have the resources. But understand that everything happens in divine timing. You will get what you need when you need it and how you need it, okay? Also be very mindful. Capricorn on the shadow side can be associated with depression, and so can Saturn. So during these 5 months, when things come up, try to keep yourselves out of those negative headspaces. It's easier said than done, but be very proactive in understanding and knowing what keeps you in your Zen space, and practice those habits. If you meditate, meditate. If you like to sing, sing. If you like to write, write. If you like to be out in nature, go take a walk. I took a walk last night. And not that I'm feeling any heavy energy, but, you know, do what makes you happy to keep you happy during these 5 months, because you will be dealing with a very tough energy in regards to this Saturn and Capricorn paternal energy and karmic energy, okay? And then, yeah, I think that's all I want to say. Yeah, that's all I want to say about the retrograde. I am doing a sale on my retrograde readings. I have my Etsy shop link down below. You can go on and book a reading with me, and you can get a retrograde reading on any planet currently in retrograde, including Saturn. And I also am doing eclipse readings, and this goes hand in hand with the eclipses during this summer because it is on the Cancer Capricorn axis. So this Saturn energy dealing with the Capricorn energy does go hand in hand with the Capricorn Cancer eclipse energy. So if you're interested in getting either of those readings, they are on sale. You can do so by going to my Etsy shop. Again, it is linked down below. And that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.